I'm Stuart, and this is the Power Hour. I'm glad you're here. If this is your first time here, if you're a new boot camper, would you be kind enough to let me know? Just let your fingers do the typing. Let me know it's your first time here at boot camp. For those of you who have been here for years and years, see, we launched Group Sales Boot Camp in 2015, February, and I've got travel professionals, travel entrepreneurs that keep renewing year after year, and I can't even, like you, Patty, like so many of you here, I can't even tell you how grateful I am, how excited. And hey, thanks everyone for allowing me patience, giving me patience and understanding. I had to cancel our Power Hour 2 weeks ago. Family tragedy. I was in New York for much longer than expected, but I was where I needed to be. And I also want to thank so many of you, all of you, for sending me your prayers, your notes, your emails, posts on Facebook. Thank you very much. That means a lot to me. It really does. I thank you, and I thank you for giving me that space and giving me that patience. We're back to business now. We've got 3 pages of stuff lined up here, and I am out the door excited. So let me just say good morning to everybody who I haven't already said good morning to, because you know I start this thing up like 5 or 10 minutes early, and I always like to test the systems, make sure things are going well. Sam's in the house, sending morning Stuart coffee in hand, ready to start my day with a group sales power hour. Cool. Nancy's in the house. Nancy said taking you and coffee on a walk to the garden. Cool. Karen's here. Good morning, Karen. I got you queued up here, Karen. Cheryl's in the house. Good morning. Kieran's in the house. First time power hour. Looking forward to it. So am I. Christy's here. And cool. All right, Christy's got a comment too. All right, so we're going to dive in, ladies and gentlemen. First, a couple of really super quick announcements. Number one, you know my good friend Mike Marshev. You know, he helps me when I'm doing a big event. He lets his followers know. You guys are part of Group Sales Success Summit. You're very important to me. And I want to let you know that Mike's doing an interview with Ralph Grizzle. Do you know Ralph? He's really cool. He's been in the Group Sales Success Summit, by the way, number one. He's going to be getting off the Alma Magna, one of the inaugural cruises, and Mike's has nailed him for an interview. So it's going to be a live interview. It's taking place on Wednesday, July 17th. Wednesday, July 17th. If you need that link, let me know or reach out to Mike. I did put it in the big broadcast email. So show up. He's got some seats left. I think it's going to be great. So you'll get it. You get to hear about this brand new ship, the Alma Magna, from a guy who is very, very, very well traveled, well cruised. And of course, Mike is awesome. He's a great interviewer. Next thing I want to say is a best of success to Nancy of Adventure Marketplace. You're here. I have a tentative gardening club group. I'm helping them with the logistics of a garden tour and a motor coach for a day tour in September. There you go. So, friends, I bring this to your attention because I love hearing success stories, too. Let it inspire everybody. And the other part of this is that, you know, sometimes we think maybe, and I'm not saying don't think big, right? Hans, was it you that turned me on to the book, The Power of Thinking Big? That's great. And Nancy has a combination of big stuff, and I'm not going to use the word small stuff, but she does local motor coach stuff. And that's her foundation, right, Nancy? And you build your groups from there. Let's not overlook that kind of stuff, friends. There's profit to be made. There's a way to build lists that way, too. I want to let you know that I have posted the next 2 power hours, July 23, August 6th. They're in the boot camp page, or if you go to boot camp, you'll see those links there. I've got to hit you with this from Hans. Last second, he posted this in an email to me. So Hans signed up for a Google alert. All you guys, gals, sign up for a Google alert. I have it on my name. So whenever the name Stuart Cohen, spelled exactly the same way, comes up anywhere that Google picks it up, I get a notification. And it's really hilarious because I get to see what other Stuart Cohens around the world are doing. The good Stuart Cohens and the not so good Stuart Cohens. Stuart Cohen has passed away several times in different professions, and Stuart Cohen has been put in jail in England years ago. He was a bad boy, bad real estate guy. It's just really hilarious. In any case, Hans has the word cruise in his Google alerts, just cruise, right, Hans? And the problem is, apparently every day he sees almost nothing but negative news about cruise and cruising, negative stuff. So he wants to know, should he expose himself? Should he keep the subscription going to hear all the bad stuff that's going on in cruising, or that people are saying or writing about it? Does he need to hear that? So the first thing that crossed my mind, Hans, and everybody, was, no, why expose yourself to negative stuff? Who wants to be in this negative vortex? It's, unfortunately, some people, thrive in that world. They love talking bad, negative, and down. But, maybe it's an opportunity. And I believe, Hans, you've been in the business long enough where you know it, and you love it. You love what you do. It's not going to convince you to get out of the business. It's not going to jade your zeal for selling cruises and so forth. However, what if you were to, by staying on top of the pulse of the negative stuff, then you know how to overcome the objections. What if you get a call from a consumer and they're like, I read this, I heard this, I think this. You're already said, you know what they're reading. And maybe it's true stuff, maybe it's not, right? Maybe it's made up negative stuff. The other part is, what if you launched, and good, if it's true negative news, like a cruise line dumping garbage or whatever, that's bad. How do you overcome it? That's a fact. But maybe you launch an informational campaign. That's what you put out as free information. Remember, I always say, you want to build your list, you want to get followers. And like, well, what do I write? What do I tell people? Well, what if you don't have to necessarily address a specific issue, but that's a general negative comment out there that you can write about. 1 point, 2 points, 3 points, and that will help you put out more positive stuff. And maybe if you get it published, Google will pick up you, and your stuff will be picked up by Google. All right, there you go. I just want to put that out there. Okay, let me just check the situation here, see if anyone else has posted. No, okay, here we go. So number one, I want to start with this, ladies and gentlemen. Please feel free to give me your input and output on this. This is from Sandra, Travel by Sandra, who is relatively new group sales boot camper. Welcome, Sandra. Listen, everybody, any ideas on getting last-minute add-ons for a United Kingdom Britain tour? It's a small group. It's on Globus. Sandra's going. It's her first, and she writes super small, only 6. Well, let me just say, don't sell yourself short here, Sandra. 6 is great. We can't judge a group by its quantity. We have to judge a group by its quality. And as you go on to say, is that it can grow over years. Listen, friends, get the first one, the second one, whatever, get it in the bag, get it done. Because even if it's 6 people, you have, what am I going to say? Fill in the blank rights. Fill in the blank rights. Bragging rights. Get bragging rights. Because you're going to take loads of pictures with the 6 of you, and you're going to have the experience. You're going to talk about it, and you've got experience. That's great. That's awesome. 6 is golden. It's a win. But here's the thing. You're looking to know, how do you fill in some last-minute seats? So a couple of my quick ideas, and you've probably already done this, Sandra, is have you told them or asked them, hey, who would it be fun to travel with? Do you have any friends and family? That's a gimme, right? You may have already been doing that, but make sure you keep peppering them. Are you sure? Have you checked with anybody, your friends or family, and say that I'm happy to do a presentation? Because you don't want to put it on them, your current guests, your current paid passengers, to go and sell it, because that's daunting to them. Say, I tell you what, I'm going to do another information presentation, everybody. Group launch sequence. Did you do the group launch sequence? Did you do it? You were with me in Puerto Vallarta. We spent a lot of time on group launch sequence. You can redo your group launch sequence, your information presentation, and tell all the book people and tell everybody you know on the planet Earth that you're doing it again. You've got 2 spaces open. So here, see, it's scarcity. And maybe you've really got 10. Maybe you've got 5. Just say you've only got 2 spaces left. And that sort of creates sort of a scarcity thing, right? And get that presentation on the book. So the only thing I can tell you, and the final note, I'll see if anybody else has a too much coffee, friends. Anyone else has a comment here? But what you don't want to do is just put it out there on social media saying 2 spaces left, call me for information. Okay, that doesn't work like that. This is a big ticket item. You can do that, but I think you're going to find you're going to get less. You're going to get when you go fishing like that. People may be scared to engage because if they engage with you, maybe they're going to think you're going to think they're sold, and they're not. That's why redo your group launch sequence. Do your information presentation series again, and invite your 6 book people, whoever. Invite them and say, hey, listen, now's the time to invite your friends and family because you only got a couple of spaces left. Let's see if we got any comments here. Hans, you're welcome. Karen commented on Hans, saying, I've had a PR firm call me to talk to the local news station about today's news. I think Hans could call a station if he sees something he thinks would be newsworthy to the general public. He becomes the expert. Great idea. Hans, you have the courage to do that. Not all of us do. You pick up on a news item, which they probably see too, and say, hey, listen, I'm a local expert here, and I'd like to comment on this, address this, because here's a way to overcome this, beat this. That's a great idea, you know. All right, so Hans said, yes, I can do that. Cool beans. Thanks, Karen, for recommending that. All right, so Sandra, that's my answer number 1. Tell me, Sandra, if you think that could help or if we need to go deeper. The other thing is, you know, is there a possibility to go to an organization? Because it sounds like, Sandra, you're the group leader here, which is awesome. But can you do a joint venture? Can you partner with some kind of other organization and all of a sudden do a sort of a joint venture? Bring in, whether it's a religious group or whether it's just a local club organization, you know, where the whole idea, friends, if you're going to lead a group, you need to have followers. You need to have a database of followers. Not everybody's going to go in every group with you, but you need to start somewhere. So if you've already exhausted that, Sandra, then you need to see what other communities you can get into. And communities, I mean, who's hanging out in your backyard that may like you, may want to travel with you, may have interest in going on this kind of a trip. And backyard, I mean 2 kind of backyards. Your physical backyard, where you live, what's going on in your neighborhood. You have an opportunity to do a presentation somewhere local. Or number 2, your virtual backyard. Where are you hanging out on Instagram? Where are you hanging out on Facebook? Where are you hanging out on Pinterest? Where are you hanging out on Twitter? Whatever social marketing you use. Second question by Sandra is, how do you entice, listen everybody, early deposits for a new group? In this case, Mexico, Puerto Vallarta. I wonder where you get that idea, Sandra. Do you go holding space and simply cancel if it's refund time? This is new. She's thinking of doing around 10 rooms, and she's branching out of her norm. Where else would you go with social media to get interest outside of your present network of friends? So this flows into what I was saying before, to build your list, but to expand it, to go into other groups. So you got to get up and get out. You got to do, you got to get involved in communities in your backyard, literally, physically, and virtually. And you need to give out free information. Give out free information, build your followers. Now, my guess is the people who may want to go to Puerto Vallarta may be different people who are going to on your UK Britain tour. All right, but most importantly, I don't think big, Sandra, but I don't want you to overdo it. If you come out when you got all these groups that you're going to lead, don't spread yourself thin. And even if you get 6 in Puerto Vallarta, that's a good news story because you'll have bragging rights. But I would love for you to partner with an organization, some kind of a group out there too, where you may have a group leader, and the 2 of you can be group leaders. But that will help because that will seriously build your list, right? Remember, if you've done, everybody, my group viability test, that's back in week 1 of boot camp. Print that out, go back, worship it, look at it, study it. For it to be a successful group, all 10 things need to be solid, be true, need to work in your favor. And one of them is the audience. Is there a big enough audience? And if you're the one that has to create the audience, you may need to start partnering with groups and organizations. How can you get up, get out? Like was it Sam who joined a brand new, we're going to get to you, networking organization? You know, yeah, it was Sam, right? Yeah, I think so. Or Karen. both of you are very aggressive in your local communities. All right, let me see if we have any other comments, and then I'm going to go to the next one. So much to do. Kieran said, didn't realize we had to submit questions before the call. I'm working on my first group on animal waterways. Kieran, no problem. So you can submit your question now, right now. I'm going to do my best to get to it, or you can submit it. I actually look back. You posted stuff, Kieran, back on June 21st, I think it was. It was about your pitch perfect stuff that you kind of did it out of order. I'm going to get to that momentarily, so you can do it either way. Danny says, hey Danny, I belong to 2 different photo groups on Facebook. I do posts from time to time with photos I upload. I'm trying to figure out how I can put my photo workshop for January on Oasis of the Seas. So that's a new question. But we'll see let me use you as an example to Sandra and everybody else. You want to build your list, build your followers. Danny has chosen a niche, right? The riches are in the niches. And in his case, it's photography type, workshops. So he's getting into those communities and participating, not selling, but engaging and participating. Okay. So, Sandra, you're very, very welcome. All right, so hang on. Let me go to number 2. I tried to number these because there's so many. All right, check this out. This is Sam, Traveling Good Company. Now, listen, everybody. This goes for everybody. This is going to be a fun exercise I'm going to charge everybody with. I received an email this weekend from a fairly new client who is a recently retired police officer, an avid golfer, and belongs to 2 country clubs. She ended the email with, if you give me an idea in a sentence or 2 of who your ideal client is, I'd be happy to see who I know that would be a good referral for your business. Are you listening to what I'm saying? So this fairly new client actually invited Sam to say, give me a sentence or 2, no more, about who your ideal client is. So she knows who she could refer. So friends, by the way, she also said send her 10 business cards. So this is a pivotal moment for Sam, because if she never followed up, it's a big wah. You got somebody who likes you enough already to spread the word and to feed you some business, perhaps. Referrals are golden, you know that. If you did follow up, and you send more than 2 sentences, then perhaps she may say, man, I just need just a quick synopsis of who you are and what you do. This is too long. Or if you kind of come across as all things to all people, she'll still be scratching her head saying, wait, whoa, I don't know. Are you a plumber, an electrician, or a dentist? I don't get it. You say you're in healthcare. You see what I'm saying? You've got it right, Sam, and I think you did a beautiful job. I'm not going to read what you wrote. You're free to post that in Facebook if you want to get comments. I like what you posted, but even that may be too long. It's good to read maybe on your Facebook page, maybe on your hot sheet. But if somebody asks for 1 or 2 sentences, so this is for everybody, what would you write? Is it your elevator speech? Maybe or maybe not. But the more specific, so here's my takeaway, friends. The more very specific you are, the more they'll know who they can send it to, who you love doing business with, what products you love to sell. So in those couple of sentences, you may need to reference who you love working with most, perhaps the destinations or the products you love working with most, right? And remember, it's how you can, number one, and you may probably won't have time to say this in your 2 sentences, Sam, or anybody else, but you know what you guys are, gals are good for. I've said this a million times. Number 1, you reduce stress and risk. Number 2, you add value and convenience. Number 3, you transform the entire experience from good to great. That could be it, but that's not what she's looking for. She wants to know what do you do? Are you a plumber, an electrician, an anesthesiologist? Who are you? Be specific, friends. It takes guts. It takes guts. Hans, I've seen what you've done with your business. It takes guts. Danny, I've seen what you've done with your business. It takes guts. Nancy, I've seen what you're doing. It takes guts. I could go on and on with folks who are in here right now in boot camp. And I've seen how you've crystallized, you've clarified who you are and what you do, it takes guts. But the riches are in the niches. The more well-defined you are, the more I'll know who you can help. I'll end it with saying this. If you're not sure of who you are and what you do, I'll never be sure of who you are and what you do. Those 10 business cards go in the garbage. In the garbage. So this is pivotal. So I'm going to invite each and every one of you back in our Facebook group. Write your 2 sentences. Sam, you want to share what you wrote? Go ahead and share it. Who's got the courage to share your 2 sentences if you were the one who was asked, invited to send 2 sentences about who you are and what you do, right? Remember, this person specifically asked, quote, if you give me an idea, say in a sentence or 2, of who your ideal client is, I'd be happy to see who I know that could be a good referral to your business. That's a tough challenge, but we need to be able to do that, friends. Okay, so this is great stuff. I appreciate you reading that. Okay, now we're going to go to Karen of South Lake Travel. Hold on, let me just see if we. Oh, actually, let me go back up here. Hold on, everybody. Let me go back. Christy, hello, Christy says, does anyone have success stories using marketing funnels? So I'm going to put that question out there. If anybody has success stories, marketing funnels, go ahead and type something saying, yes, I have experience using marketing funnels. So yes, I have that experience. So when I scroll back down, I'll see it. And just so you guys know, if you are new here or not, if you want us to hear your voice, just let me know. Turn on my mic. I'll see your comment. I'll let you know when I'm going to turn your mic on so we can hear your beautiful voice. You can make your comment, ask your question, and then we'll put you back on mute. I can't turn you on from here, only with your permission. I'll send you an unmute request. But that's really cool. So I want to know, because I don't have experience with funnels, marketing funnels. Okay, I don't, and I know I need to. I got to get there. Okay, for my group sales success summit, I kind of did it. And I have had 2 whopping successes, but if I really used the true funnel approach, could I have been twice as successful? Perhaps. I want to be like Russell Brunson. I want to have my first $1 million weekend. I've never done that. Wouldn't that be fun? All right. So let's see. And by the way, the ClickFunnels thing is IFO, irresistible free offer, right? All right, that's what it means. Okay, let me see here. Hold on, let me see. First time. Hold on, everybody. Okay, Christy also said, we have seen some small success with offering a guide to Tuscany in exchange for emails into a sequence to develop leads for a group, but we were needing to fine-tune it. We get people into the funnel, but it hasn't converted to sales yet. Okay, so Christy is saying that she's had some small success or offering this irresistible free offer, which is a guide to Tuscany in exchange for emails into a sequence which develops leads for a group, but we are needing to fine tune it. All right, so that's what Christy has tried. Does anybody understand what that means? Which means you come out and saying, hey, I'm going to give you this free thing, absolutely free. It's Jeff Walker does it. If you're on Jeff Walker's list, you get 2, 3, 4 emails perhaps a day from Jeff Walker because he does joint ventures with anybody and everybody. Okay, and the list may start off as 100,000. Get this free book. Everybody gets a free book, and once you opt in for that, boom, you're in the new funnel. You're in the new funnel, and they're going to keep hammering and hammering until you either decide you want to pay the $1,000 for the rest of the book, the rest of this webinar, whatever it is, the rest of the program, or not, then you're out, right? But yeah, that's the way a funnel works. Start off with 100,000 people or 5,000 people, and as long as 1,000 people buy it, you make your $1 million. That's the concept of a funnel, and then you opt out if you really don't want it. Okay, let's see here. Okay, Karen says, London trip. What I did for my first culinary trip was to go to the chef's house and posted a video on YouTube about our trip. She should post something on Facebook for sure. So Karen, I think you're referring to Sandra and her possibility of growing that UK Britain group, and even for the Puerto Vallarta group. I don't know, Sandra, if you took video when you were in Puerto Vallarta, but show that stuff. So Karen, for her London trip actually went to the chef's house. How cool is that? You know, think differently, folks. You know, publish some interesting stuff and remarkable stuff. Danny's saying that he's trying to figure out how to put a photo workshop for Johnny Race of the Seas. Well, I think we've talked about this, my friend. I believe it's all about partnering with another organization. You know, until, Danny, you have a sizable list of photography, either professionals or amateurs, you're going to need to partner. Now, wouldn't that be great, folks, that if you have such a specific identified niche and you start your own group, whether it's on Facebook, Pinterest, obviously with you, Danny, in photography, it could be Instagram. That's probably where, or Pinterest, that's where they may showcase and display their stuff. I don't know, or Facebook. But you have enough people because you've communicated with 20 different photography teachers or workshops or schools. And then they come to you because you sort of pool information. You're the collector. You're the aggregator. And so soon you'll have a following of 500,000, 5,000 people. Even though you don't teach a lick of photography, you just help get them together and put them on trips, right? That's what I think you need to work on. Because I'm not sure, unless you're the photography guru. Did you like that? The photographer guru. You still need to have that group leader. Kieran says, lots of questions on advertising when AMA doesn't hold space, even with a contract. Also, how do I get my planning fee? A client wants me to add it to the price if clients are not guaranteed. All the work build up won't be compensated if people don't sign up or not sign up enough. So Kieran, let's talk about this, Kieran. Let me go to that. Hold on, everybody. Hold on. Okay, here we go. So listen, this is interesting. Look, I would talk about it if I didn't find it interesting. I just love when I pick up on Facebook or I get your emails and so forth. So let me listen. Everybody knows Pitch Perfect, right? And just so you guys know, I have 2 projects for my web designer. First, she's got to, I know I'm off subject. Stay with me. First, she's got to, I got to do some work around Group Sales Success Summit. So the 2 landing pages, because I have enormous news with Group Sales Success Summit, Bootcamp, and the Travel Institute. I know I keep teasing you and teasing you and teasing you, and you may have figured out, well, what could Stuart be doing with the Travel Institute, with Bootcamp, and Group Sales Success Summits? You know, how could that add value? I have an enormous big announcement to make that I had hoped to already make, but as you guys and gals know, my dear friends, we had a tragedy in the family, so everything's been delayed, and that's okay. Life gets in the way, right? Happens to all of us, sadly. Her next project is she's rebuilding a website for me. I live in a lake community, don't live there full time, and she's helping me with that website. The third project, which you really, really care about too, is that I'm going to sort of relaunch Bootcamp in sort of a new sequence, some brand new videos. I have redone group launch sequence videos, and the more I see it and go back to it, the more I go out and teach it, I know that I can strengthen it, right? Because so many of you have seen me, if you attended, for instance, a Nexion group summit or a Dream Vacations group summit, or whatever, when I do them live, I am able to grow the presentations, and I want to keep giving that to you in Bootcamp. So that's third on her list, which won't be too long. So Karen was reviewing the Pitch Perfect video. Now, Pitch Perfect is before you have the group. This is your pitch, friends. You're not pitching to the customers to book into the group. This is to get the group leader to sign up with you. I realized we jumped the gun. I was there initially just for a coffee meeting. 15-minute coffee meeting to get to know the owner of one of those Pinot's Palette. Right? You guys have heard of that? I spontaneously mentioned the idea of a paint/sip river cruise, and she took off with it. I'll be talking to her. Now, you've probably already had this conversation to set up some time for the pitch, but I don't really know her problem, pain points, or the issues she has. I don't know her vision, intention for the cruise, or any of the details. So basically what Karen is saying, she went right from, hey, you want to do something, does this sound cool, to she jumped into how she's going to promote it to the clients and other business owners in the complex, and how she could do presentations. So here's the challenge, is that Karen is a little afraid that if she comes and makes the pitch, makes the presentation, you don't really know what to deliver, price points, all the details. Plus, you haven't positioned yourself as what your fees are, how this process works, especially from the get-go. So how do you deal with that? So I want to give you a comment. Now, Julie, who's in boot camp on Facebook, she made some comments. Kyle, you made a comment too. Kyle's comment was maybe ask if she's ever done a group before. If so, what went wrong? Absolutely. So that, when you go to qualify, that's a critical question, of course. Have you done it before? If you have, what went wrong? What went right? If you've never done it before, why? Is there some baggage there, some history there? So I would say, Kieran, this is very exciting, and I know you're probably moved along the path here, but what I would hope you do at this point is say, this is great, this is exciting. I don't want to take up any more of your time, but I've already got a notebook full of notes. I'm juiced up and pumped. So let's set up appointment number 2. And can I have an hour? Could you give me an hour? Because I've got questions to ask you. I want to make sure that together we put together the most amazing, ideal trip. Because you're going to leave all the details to me. This is what you're going to hire me to do, so that you can continue running your business. And we're going to do a launch, and it's going to be super. We're going to sell it out. Wouldn't it be great to sell it out? Yes, of course, right? So understand, the good news is the owner of this pallet place, Pino's Pallet, sounds like a real entrepreneur, doesn't he or she? Which is great, because when you explain how the group launch sequence rolls out, they're not going to say, no. They're going to get it. They're going to understand what a launch looks like, friends. So understand that that's a positive. That's awesome that you're going to be working with an entrepreneur. And I would believe they're going to understand the very essence of a true product launch. You got to get in there. You got to qualify, as Kyle said. You got to ask all those critical questions. And I know your specific question is, how do you do all this build-up work for free? How do you do it for free? You guys and gals get asked this all the time. Great opportunity, but hang on. If I get working here, spinning my wheels, I make nothing. So on a case-by-case basis, friends, you have to determine if you need to get a letter of intent signed and a potential deposit, a planning fee deposit. And because they're an entrepreneur, they may totally get that. I think you have a much better chance of them understanding that a letter of intent is something they would do, and a deposit is something they would do too. And of course, that deposit, planning deposit, if it never goes off the ground, it's not refundable. If it goes off the ground, it comes back. It's part, it comes off the total price of the trip. Because at the end of the day, Kieran, what we teach in boot camp is, and this is my preference, it may not be yours, is, the word service fee, planning fee, management, administrative fee. It's tough for people to swallow, especially because we do so much buying, e-commerce, online, where shipping is free, everything's included. There's few extras. People may have a hard time with that. So you're going to end up baking your fee into the whole package price, and he or she, the owner of Pino's Pallet, is never going to know it's baked in unless she asks. Or I'm going to say it's she. I don't remember. You're going to say, look, I'm going to go with you because you don't want to do this without me there, and you don't worry about paying for me, because I'm going to bake my travel expenses and my fees for operating this into the whole package. So it'll be amortized out. It'll be negligible for everyone to have me there and to put this all together. However, I think it's righteous if you think you need to get a letter of intent signed. So you got 30 days, so she won't go anyplace else, and a planning fee, depending on your feeling about that. And I know that you said she sort of took control, Kieran. So now you need to take control and say, great, and honor that she's a business owner and you're a business owner. and that's her specialty, and this is your specialty, and you're going to work together, and that's why she's going to be totally cool with signing a group agreement letter. Group agreement letter. That's critical. So because you're gonna say to her, look, we're going to set out just a little simple agreement. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do for you, and we're going to detail what you're going to do, so you know what I'm doing, I know what you're doing, so together we achieve the mission. What's our mission statement? Let's agree on a mission statement. What's our mission? We want to have the most successful group ever doing this at sea. You know, whatever. Be specific. That's your mission statement. And then, of course, you, Karen, you want to make a couple of bucks out of this. Of course you do, right? But what's hers? Does she want to make a couple of bucks? Does she want to travel free? Let her ask for it. Let her ask for it. Does she want just money coming back or just the exposure? Don't assume you know what she wants to participate in this joint venture. Don't assume. Ask. Qualify. So hopefully, if you haven't made that pitch yet, you've qualified. Because if you make a pitch before qualifying, it's out of order. And I want to see if you've had any, feedback or comment there. And then one more thing, Julie, who said, she said, go back and tell her, just say I have a few questions I want to ask you. Then ask her what her vision and intention is for the cruise. Beautiful, Julie. Well done. What does she hope to reap from it? Then start listening for the pain points. And Kyle had said before, what don't you want? I love that. Whenever up on stage, friends, I ask ask your customer, not what do you want? What don't you want? And then as she goes on, Julie, as far as your work agreement, maybe just tell her that you've got an exciting part now. You have to create your working agreement, how the details work, and then present you with your contract and go from there. Say, this is the contract I have. How does this look to you? So I agree with Julie there, but instead of saying, how does this look to you, say, we're going to remember what I teach you in boot camp. You're going to write it collaboratively. You're going to and follow my formula, my pitch perfect formula, my group agreement letter formula, okay, and then your group blend secrets. It's important, just like Russell Brunson, right? Follow the formulas that work. Follow the formulas that work. So let me see if anybody has any comments there, because I think I spent a good amount of time talking about it. So let me come back for a second. Kyle made a comment. In your group summit, the Melissa at Travel Chicks has a good formula for a short blurb. There you go. You guys remember Melissa McKay? Travel Chicks has a good formula for a short blurb. And I don't know if she has that posted, if it's something that's complimentary she offers, or it's something paid. You got to go through her as a coach, business coach, that she would help you with. But perhaps you'll tell me, Kyle, how you got that information, or post it on Facebook so everyone can get that information. That's great. So Karen, you would ask, what does she mean marketing funnel? I think I've explained that. Right? You fill your funnel, huge amount of people, because you're giving away something free. And then once they click in, once they get the freebie, then they're on the list. And you keep, hammering away, boom, 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 boom. There's a series of presentations. You're building up to the big thing, which is, okay, you got this free, but if you want the rest of the story, if you want to participate in this live training program, this webinar, get the full book, it's $1,000, $500, $100. And then people, as the funnel, people click out, they opt out because they don't want to pay it, but enough people who wanted that free book stay in. It's kind of like if you're going fishing, because I just went fishing on my lake. And you can, if you want, to bring, like with catfish, if you're going catfishing, you can just throw out a whole ton of bait or chum. Or when I used to go fish in the ocean, you put out chum, right? And that just brings fish into the area. And then you put your line down, and you're only going to catch one fish in that moment, but you're bringing in 20 fish. Does that make sense? You're bringing in 20 to catch one. So there's always odds on a click funnel. That's how it works. And Kyle has some experience with marketing funnels, so you guys may want to connect, because Kyle has experience with that. Find their pain point, give away a resource guide with helpful tips. Resource guides are one page, simple to consume with good information. Thank you, Kyle. I say this all day long. It's a hot sheet. It could be a hot sheet about you, but we're talking about an information sheet, right? If it's too big, they may say, it's too big, I don't have time to read it. But it's those one-page hot sheets, information sheets, helpful information that you think, my goodness, they probably already know this, but they probably don't. Or even if they do, you're validating what they already know. Scott says, I'm working on a barbecue trip to Memphis next September, and Catherine Higgins helped me with that for that trip. Wait a minute, you're coming to my town? Hold on there, Scott. You listen to me. You got to let me know if you're coming when you're coming, and I'll tell you what barbecue places to go to. It's so funny because I was thinking of doing this too. I'm not in the travel business like you are, because I've tried not all of them. There's a lot of them, but I can tell you my favorites. In fact, I just took my son yesterday. He's flying home right now, back to New York, but I took him to my favorite place, and it's not even in Memphis. It's not in East Memphis. It's in Germantown. That's why when you look up best barbecue in Memphis, it may not come up because it's in Germantown. Scott, the name of that place is the Germantown Commissary, and it's not 5 minutes from my house, and we had lunch there, and they are smoked ribs that are hands down superior. Karen says YouTube. When I went to the chef's house, it was 12 years ago when I didn't know what YouTube was. We had 1,200 hits in 2 days and had 2 people join our group from Laguna Beach in Chicago. So we're going back to a prior conversation, which is when you post on YouTube or social media stuff, you're going to get followers from people anywhere in the world. And the more interesting content you post, the more followers you're going to get. Sandra says, I got a couple of spaces on the Britain sampler left. If you know of any friends that might be interested in having me share details, happy information is free. One client said it sounds good. I'll let you know if I find. Okay, all right. So Sandra just kept me up to speed. And Sandra, if you want, you can post this in boot camp too, because maybe there's another agent who's got somebody who's looking to go at that same time with you. That kind of stuff can happen. Excuse me. Karen makes a comment here about the photography cruise. This is for Danny. He needs to check out the local colleges, university to see whom is offering a course. That instructor could be a great potential leader. Great idea, Karen. Thank you. And Danny said he's getting into Pinterest. No, getting into Pinterest is a good thought. I would like to be able to show the workshop in the 2 groups I belong to. However, I know it's not good to sell within these groups. It's not. What you want to do is participate, right, everybody? When you're a part of another community, participate in the conversation. Be a friend. It's like, for instance, if you're at like a cocktail party, and if you just kind of, you see a little group and they're having a conversation, you go in and you start talking about yourself, all about yourself. They're going to be like, who is this guy? And they're going to walk away. They're going to stay away from you. But if you go in and you listen and you comment on what they're talking about, then you're going to be allowed to stay in the party. You're going to make new friends. Oh, that guy, Danny's interesting. He's not a photographer. He's a travel professional, and he focuses on photography. That's pretty cool. And then you say, hey, come join me. I'm doing an informational thing. What does a workshop at sea look like? What does a workshop at a resort look like? I'm going to give a 30-minute information presentation. And even if you have 3 people show up, that's 3 more than you had before. And maybe 50 people know you're doing it, but didn't come, but you're starting to plant the seed. Kieran said, so here's a follow-up from Kieran. I had a follow-up call to get clarification. She only did 1 group cruise, a quick Mexico trip, for a 4-day trip. She spontaneously set up and didn't have any issues. Okay. All right, that's good. At least you got some information. And Lakeisha's in the house. This is your first time here. Sorry it's taking me so long to get. We've got a lot of people typing away here. Lakeisha, welcome to the Power Hour. I'm so glad you're here. I hope you're enjoying it so far. If you got a question, comment, issue, just let me know. Or just observe. Pick it up from everybody else. And who knows what you're going to walk away with. Kyle says business owners like those that work from a ground floor up to build their business and respect those that do. Right. Appeal to this. Exactly. When you start working, friends, with someone, a kindred spirit, an entrepreneur, could be an entirely different business. They understand entrepreneurialism. They understand the value of loyalty. They understand the value of keeping that customer coming back. Kindred spirit. And that's how, people are like, well, how do I get at a 15-minute meeting? Well, you can simply say, hey, listen, we're both local business owners. We're both local entrepreneurs. Suddenly, there's a kinship there because you both are in the same game. You guys and gals are responsible for putting a paycheck in your bank every week, every other week, every month, every year. High risk, but you embrace it. You love it. So there's a whole conversation piece right there, right? Kieran said, I've qualified. Looks like a great opportunity. Great. So Kieran has done the qualifying, and it's looking good, looking great. Kyle said that thing from Melissa from Travel Chicks, it's free, and he's got it if you'd like it. So you tell me how you want to work this out. That's very kind of you. If you want, you can post it in our boot camp. Of course, we want Melissa to get the credit, and you for sharing that too, because if Melissa put it out free, then of course we want to help her spread. She gives out free stuff too. That's what we all need to do, is give out free stuff to build a list. By the way, I'm now being featured in TRO. I already write for Agent at Home every other month. I have a feature article some of you may see, but now my good friend Richard Earls has invited me to contribute there. So I've got a 6 series coming every Wednesday. There's going to be a new article from me, and it's about basically how to discover your niche, how to niche. The riches are in the niches, in the TRO research online, right? You guys know that? All right, Scott says, talk to me. You got it. About Memphis. Very cool. Nancy says, hey, Stuart, I'm presenting tomorrow night about Vietnam, Cambodia. It's a trip that she did in November at the Maine Outdoor Adventure Club meeting. I'm a very active member in that club, and she was president. Nancy was president at one time. I realize it's not proper to direct market to this group, but when they see my slideshow, I don't know what to do. So basically, Nancy's going to make a presentation, and she's an active member, and it's not proper to direct market. So that's what you do. It's like an opt-in thing. You know, so here's what I recommend you do, where you're not stepping on toes, you're not turning off people. So listen, everybody, if you're either invited in to make a presentation, or you offer to make a presentation, and it's an informational presentation, you're not going in to sell, then what you need to do is sort of tiptoe. You can still be successful building your list. What I suggest is this: always have a handout, not your business card, but create. So here, I'll tell you what I do, and you can emulate it or make it your own. And it may or may not work for you. But lately, what I'm doing in a workshop, I give a handout, and it's a fill in the blank. I say, how many fill in the blank people do we have here? 50% of the people. I said, great. You're going to be very happy because your handout has fill in the blank, because some people learn, they retain using fill in the blank. And then I say, how many people here are not fill in the blank people? You want to keep your eyes up here and listen and focus and take notes. The other 50%. That's why I got good news for you too. Because if you like all the blanks filled in for you, I've already done it. And they giggle, they chuckle, they're like, thank you. And I show them that I created a special web page. And you don't necessarily have to create a web page if you don't know how to do it. So it's basically stuartloydcohen.com / and like, for instance, if you want to take a peek at what I've done. Oh, this is going to be, this is public. I'll post it in boot camp. But it's Stuart Lloyd Cohen / and the name of the conference. It's really short. And I say, I've created a special page just for you. And the form is there. The document is, the blanks are filled in. And on that page, guess what I do on that page, everybody and Nancy? I brand like crazy. Because I tell people, listen, even if you're filling in your own blanks, okay, go to that web page I created for you. It'll be up for a limited time. I've included a lot of extra bonuses. Because I've only got a half hour. I've only got an hour with you today, but I'm giving you all kinds of bonus goodies that you can download and keep. And you know what you're going to do, Nancy? There you're going to have sign up to get my newsletters. Sign up for more information. Follow me on Facebook. So you need to draw them in. Not everybody's going to do it. Not everybody's going to sign up, but it's been extremely effective for me because remember, I'm getting paid good money to speak on stage. If I start selling or soliciting, the people who hired me are going to get ticked off. The audience is going to get ticked off. So that's one big thing I do. I give a handout that's branded. I direct them back to the website. Hey, if you need more information, come and get it. There's lots of extra goodies for you. Okay. And I sometimes, if it's okay with the people who have hired me, I do and here's the last note, I do a follow-up information presentation. So Nancy, what you can do after you present your information, you could say, listen, in a week from now, join me at the private room in the Panera Bread, or join me online because I've got just a quick 15-minute presentation where I'm going to drill down a little deeper. So if you want more information, it's great to come and ask me your questions. And I'm going to talk more about my specific experiences. It's a funnel, Nancy. You're doing a funnel. You're starting off with, I don't know, maybe 50 people in that audience. Maybe 25 people are going to go to your website, get information, and sign up with you. And maybe 10 people are going to come to your webinar. It's a funnel. You're doing your own funnel. Does that make sense? That's what I would do. Okay. You can bring I bring a little wicker basket sometimes, a little basket. And I say, hey, listen, if you want to, because sometimes people are lazy or they forget to go on your list. So I'll pass this around and I'll say, I'm going to pass it around. If you want me to add you to my list, put your business card in here. When you're giving me permission to put you on my list. You just hand it around. And if they don't want to put their business card in, they won't have to. I hope that helps. Nancy said, okay, there we go. Nana's in the house. Please repeat the site that I mentioned. What site did I mention? Oh my goodness gracious. Oh yeah, well, I'm going to post it on Bootcamp. So it's a special URL that I created because I have experience. I can create a web page myself. Some of you can or cannot, but it may be worth the juice hiring somebody to create a simple page. And if you need somebody to do that, you can hire my professional web designer. She's great and she's very reasonably priced. But I will post it in Bootcamp, Nana. Welcome. Good to have you here. Sarah's in the house. Let me read this, and I'm going to make sure I want to get to everybody's situation. Hold on there. We got that. We got that. Yeah. Okay. By the way, we've got 7 minutes left. Hey, Sarah. Hi, Stuart. I'm working on year 2 of my acoustic musician group. The original sponsor signed on again, too. Aces. My VIP sale got 50% of the rooms booked from past cruisers. Hang on. If I had a cigar here, actually I do, in my little humidor right there, but I'm not going to reach. But I am going to take a sip of coffee, making believe this is champagne, because I want that information, that success story, to resonate with everyone watching right now. Cheers to you, Sarah. Sounds like you did the group launch sequence. Am I hearing what I'm hearing? That is good champagne. Tastes like coffee. Good champagne. My VIP sale got 50% of the rooms booked from past cruisers. We are 82 guests so far, closing in on my 55 stateroom hold. Just wanted to share how well your process works with everyone. I didn't even see that's what you had written, Sarah. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. You get all the credit because you did it. Friends, it's information plus application equals transformation. I'll give you the information, but in order to get the transformation, you need to have the application. And anytime you do something for the first time, it's never easy. But the second time it gets easier, you get smarter, and then it becomes habit. It becomes SOP, standard operating procedure. Sarah, I'm very proud of you. Let everyone else listen up to hear what just happened. She's going to do it. And I know, Sarah, you're going to do all the things now. If you need to do a second group launch sequence, you're going to do it. You're going to keep hitting them every week. How excited you are. Everyone's excited. You're going to ask them, hey, would you post in our private Facebook group, what's the one thing you're most looking forward to? Keep them in the groove. Don't just take their money and say thank you and move on. Keep them excited, because you don't want anyone having buyer's remorse. You don't want anyone saying, oh, geez, did we make the right decision? Or I have a million questions. I don't understand. Be there for them. You want to deliver loyalty grade service, Sarah. You stay in the game with the people who have booked. Because if there's all these people who are still on your list, remember that funnel, and they haven't booked yet, and they keep seeing you making posts and everyone else talking about how excited they are. Will those people, Sarah, will they post in Facebook or other places and give a little testimonial? One question. Answer this question. What's the one thing you're looking most forward to? Then who knows? It may grab other people. And keep telling people, who would you love to travel with too? Let's get that puppy sell out. Let's get it sold out. Sarah, congratulations. I wish you continued success. That Sarah said you are correct. There we go. That's awesome. Okay, listen, we've got 3 minutes left. 3 minutes. I want to make sure I hit everybody here. I got everybody. Remember, if you have not yet signed up for Mike's, hang on. You're not dismissed yet. Don't go. Don't go. Hold on. 3 minutes. I promise. I always end on time. He's got Ralph Grizzle, who's going to be right over the Alma Magna. That's July 17th on Wednesday. So sign up with Mike on that. Our next Power Hour is July 23 and August 6. Let me think here. I'm going to get some information out on, I'll work with Teddy Burris on LinkedIn training if you want to do it. Some were interested, and I think it just got lost in translation. Let me think here. We got that. We covered this. I think we got everyone's thing. Oh, yeah. Don't forget your exercise. Your exercise, which is, if you're bold enough, right? If a customer asks you right now, hey, would you do me a favor? Would you write a sentence, maybe two, about what you do? Who your ideal client is, right? Sam, that was the specific question. Who's your ideal client? And I'll see if I can refer anybody to you. And one other thing on that note, Sam, and if you haven't done that yet, was you, Sam? No, that was Karen. Sorry. Karen? Oh my goodness. No, it was Sam. Sorry. Hello. What you need to do now, Sam, and everybody, is if somebody offers you to refer you to get your word out, you do the same. You do the same for them. Maybe they're not in a business, so obviously you can't. But if they are if they're some kind of an organization, some kind of business, you say, listen, I look forward to paying it forward and repaying that favor. That's so kind of you. That's so sweet of you. That's so nice. And of course, you're going to send a handwritten. I've got these all ready to go. That's the only thing I print on these cards, and then I fill it out. I have all kinds of stamps and I send out thank you cards, or my postcard. I got a new postcard. If you can think big, I send out. It's easy. Just put a stamp on it. Get it out in the mail. Piece of cake. Vistaprint. But offer them to send them leads too, and make sure you express gratitude. All right. Wait. Here we go. Oh my goodness. Kyle said he posted in the group. Kyle, you rock. Thank you very much. Sarah sent me hearts. Thank you very much. And here we go. We'll end it on this because we got a minute and 10 seconds. Stay with me. Sam posted, okay, here are 2 sentences, albeit run-on sentences. My clients are 50 plus, retired or semi-retired, successful professionals, small business owners or entrepreneurs, educated, well-read, very active, and walk every day, belong to a golf group, enjoy good wine and dining out, attend concerts or theater, period. Travel is an important aspect of their lives, and they appreciate attention to detail combined with excellent service. And at times, their travel plans include their kids and grandkids or traveling with a small group of people who share their interests. So that's what Sam has. And it's great. It may be, yes, it may be a little long. It's getting specific, but maybe can be fine-tuned instead of saying like, sort of business owners and entrepreneurs. Just say one or the other. Say a business owner or just say entrepreneur. See what I'm saying? Chisel it down a little bit. I like very active. You don't necessarily have to say walk every day because very active can cover that. Enjoy good wine. I love it. Dining out, I love it. So attending concerts or theater, Sam, maybe you don't need to say concerts and theater. Just say theater or live events, live music and theater, something like that. But because you're right there, it's about sharpening it, chiseling it, and you'll still get the same message across. That's terrific stuff. Hey, listen, it is time. Thank you everybody for being here. I am so grateful. I'm very excited. Let's keep rocking and rolling here. There's a lot of people who need your help. Thanks for being here. It is time to say adieu. Go out and help some people and make some money.